Hello, welcome back. Today's video is a Pan That Palette update. I am very excited. I feel like I have good progress this month. I had some pretty good progress last month too, but it's a little better this time. If you're interested, I have a whole Pan That Palette playlist, Project Pan playlist, empties playlist, all of that. I'll link those in the description box. And also I did film this makeup look that should be coming sometime this week. Let's get into this update. I am panning the Bad Habit Artistry palette, which is the dupe for the Makeup by Mario palette with Anastasia. Both of these palettes have actually been discontinued. They don't exist anymore, so I thought I would finish mine up. And I actually do enjoy this palette quite a bit. First, let me show you where my palette was last month. Alrighty, and here's where I am now. I have two new pans this month, which is very exciting. At the beginning of the year, this pan was already here from another project. Oh, and actually this one was also. Last month I hit this one, and here there's a new pan on this one and this one. And as you can tell, I've really expanded the pan on this matte shade here. Aria, that's the matte shade. I've really expanded the pan. I've got great progress there. I'm using that every day as a crease color. It's really nice for that. The more taupey brown Mona, that's the one that I have a new pan on this month. Kind of mix them together and it just turns into a really nice neutral brown. Works great for like an everyday look. And then recently I started working on Tuscany. That's the darker matte brown, and you can see that there's a pretty good dip there. I kind of mix all three together for the outer corner because on most days I don't do very dark eyeshadow looks, you know, just for like work days. Mixing them really helps with that. I did experiment with these colors here a little bit, and I will say these two, they are a bit on the dark side, and they're fine, but I kind of preferred to layer them with other shadows for a more everyday look. So what I ended up doing, this is another new pan here, and as you can tell, I have major progress on that one. A lot of days I would just kind of put that in the inner corner and then put one of the darker shades in the middle, and then these three mattes in the crease and outer corner. And that worked out really, really well. And I did also expand the pan on this one. Sometimes I would layer it with this one or just use it on its own. There's actually a lot of possibilities with this palette. The nice thing as far as everyday looks is that the three darker shades, this one, and this one, they're not even super dark. It's not like they're black eyeshadows. And for the most part, these are lighter eyeshadows. Therefore, they're easy to wear on an everyday basis. They layer nicely with themselves and with other colors. Therefore, you know, if I want to change the look up, mixing it with another palette, I can layer two different eyeshadows together. I've done that quite a bit, and it just works really nicely. I will say, in general, for like everyday makeup usage, you know, panning lighter eyeshadows definitely is easier than darker ones for me, just kind of based on, you know, everyday type preferences. And I have only been using this palette during the work week. I have not been using it on the weekend, which is what I've wanted to do because I've wanted to be able to shop my stash, use other things on the weekend where it's kind of like fun makeup time. And I've been able to do that, and I've still had great success. So that makes me very, very happy. Now, my goal would be to finish this whole palette. I'm still unsure that I can do that, you know, but 5 pans starting out is pretty good. I'm nowhere close to finishing an eyeshadow yet, though. This one would be the first, and the pan is significantly expanded from last time, but I'm not really anywhere close to finishing it. And, you know, we're already 2 months in. I'm kind of doubting that I can finish this palette, but I definitely think I could hit pan on every shade and maybe finish up a few. But yeah, I'm really excited about my progress. I feel like it's been really good. The thing though, this formula, it is very soft and it is very powdery. So, you know, if you want a panning ego boost, I highly recommend picking an eyeshadow with a very soft and powdery formula because it's so much easier to hit pan and see progress. I mentioned that the last 2 years I was panning the Tartelette in Bloom and then the Too Faced Chocolate Bar. Those are so hardly pressed eyeshadows. It was taking so much longer. I think at this point last year with the chocolate bar, I think I had only hit pan on one eyeshadow. And the usage I was using was the same. It's just the formula. There's a huge difference there. So I think especially if you're just starting out in panning, I would highly recommend picking a softer, easier to pan formula. Plus, I think also these eyeshadows are smaller than Tarte or Too Faced eyeshadows anyway. So that's something to kind of keep in mind picking a Pan That palette or kind of project pans in general. But yeah, it's a bit of an ego boost to see this much progress, but I think the formula is a really big part of that. Goals for this, I think I'm still gonna keep using all three matte shades. I'm hoping maybe next time I could have hit pan on this one, and I wanna continue to expand these. I wanna finish this eyeshadow at some point, but I do think it's gonna take a while. This one here, I only used a couple of times, so maybe I'll get back on this one and expand that pan. This one has major pan. I wanna continue working on that. This shadow and this shadow I've only used maybe once or twice, so maybe I'll start using those. And I want to get going on these two darker shades also. Most days I'm kind of like mix and matching the whole palette, because really, you know, as far as usage goes, if you're using it, it's really the same thing. You know, you obviously tend to see more usage if you're just using one eyeshadow over and over again, but I think because these two colors are going to give me the most trouble and I do have to layer them with other eyeshadows, that I should get going on these. But I'm hoping to have one new pan and then just kind of continue expanding the ones that I have. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with it and I'm enjoying it. I think the formula is very nice. It works quite well. You know, most of these metallics are actually pretty metallic. The ones that aren't are actually these three. They're a bit more like satin shimmers, whereas the lighter ones are definitely more metallic, which is what I prefer, but these are still workable. And like I said, I'll probably mix them with other eyeshadows as well. So yeah, that is it. I'm really, really happy about this progress. Excited to have two new pans, expanding the pans that I have. I can't complain. Let us know, how's your Pan That palette doing if you are doing one, or are you contemplating doing one? I'm very curious. That is it, and if you're interested, you can check out my Pan That palette playlist, and thanks for watching.